probably have one of the most controversial leaders in our society on today. He's not controversial to me, though. I appreciate what he brings to the table. And we have the one and only General Commander Yahanna. How are you, sir?
Sweet. Good to be with you, Chris. Good to be with you.
Right on. Man. Right on. And we have some of the brothers from ISUPK. Could you tell the folks what that means, ISUPK, first before we get started?
Okay. ISUPK stands for the Israelites School of Universal Practical Knowledge. We came out of Harlem. We were established in 1969 in Harlem and 1 West 125th Street. And we took the truth of our people, the history of our records, and spread it across the entire world. We found out that blacks in America were actually descendants of the Hebrew Israelites we read about every day in the Bible. We found out that the Latinos that are in Central and South America and the Caribbean, as well as the people of the Caribbean, are all part of the lost 12 tribes of the children of Israel. It's who Columbus was looking for. It's who he was looking for. It's who the Roman Catholic Church was looking for. And we found them.
Right on.
Now we started to bring them on out. We started to let them know.
Oh, man, I absolutely love you. And if you could you kind of let everybody pass the microphone around, if you would,
absolutely,
Yahanna, kind of introduce and tell everybody that's with you here on today.
All right. Glad to be on the Ross Cloud podcast. Six Shield, General Kwabala Moth from Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Okay. Come on, Ken. Got it.
Also good to be here. I'm Captain 13,000 Tazaryak of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge.
Okay.
Y'all work with us. Y'all work with us out there watching.
Captain 13,000. Thanks for being on the show.
Right on. Right on.
Definitely appreciate the invite, Captain 10,000 Katazar.
Right on. Shalom to all you brothers.
Shalom, brother.
Shalom. Yes, sir. First of all, I'm super excited. I'm glad to have you back again, General Yahanna. It's such an honor and pleasure. I didn't know much about you upon the first meet,
right?
But as I did my research and continue to do my research, because I knew we would meet again.
Absolutely, absolutely. Most High in Christ. That's right.
I appreciate you, and I want to give a shout out to, I guess he's one of your captains, Brother Arak.
Yes, Officer Arak. Yeah,
Officer Arak. Okay.
Yeah.
I want to say to you, man, he has always just been somebody who drops in. He'll send me a text, just checking on you, brother. You know, beautiful. Just want to see how you're doing. Everything's okay. And then I said, well, let me know when the general want to come back now. So he already said, oh, you know, that's done. So he sent me here recently upon us just communicating on a regular. He'll just check in.
Wow.
And you just don't know how to really, you know, that was valuable. So many times, you know, we forget relationships are a big part of what we do.
Absolutely.
It's all about building relationships and getting to know people. And Brother Arak he's always genuine.
Yeah.
He's always persistent about, brother, I need you to come to this event. But yeah, being busy, a lot of times I can't come. But I will at some point get a chance to journey to one of these events and bring my microphone.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So I can talk to everybody and be in the midst
That's right.
of the brothers. But I just wanted to make sure I gave a shout out. And again,
thank
you again for embracing it, coming back again.
I'm so glad to be here, man. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's
and
beautiful.
I also want to commend you brothers on doing what you did not too long ago. You guys, I think I watched late night. About 10, 11 o'clock at night, saw what y'all did in New York. We all gave back. So
was it beautiful?
It was very beautiful. To hear about.
It was definitely right.
Yeah, to hear about those things that you all did, and the way you supported, and the brothers called in. I could just feel the Spirit of God come off the screen. Like this is what this is.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? The pictures that you showed, the brothers standing there in. It's just soldiers, man, and we need to see that.
We do.
We need to see that. We need to see that there is a group that cares totally about us,
right,
and loves us enough to say, "Hey, we're gonna go to our Latinos. They not our Latino brothers. Somebody ain't eating. Let's go get these sisters. Let's go do this and that." Yeah. Oh, trust me, I did my research. All of that stuff was very valuable. for me, and it was good for me to see, because I wanted to make sure I told you guys that was a beautiful thing that you did, and keep doing God's work, man.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and get on into
Yes,
it.
sir. Yes, sir.
We get all the sentimental stuff
Yes,
out the way.
right.
Let's go ahead and get into it.
True.
So, where did the Hebrews come from originally? Where did it descend from?
Okay. Our forefather Abraham, who was called by the Lord, started out in the Ur of the Chaldees, okay, which is in northern Iraq, and the Lord removed him from Iraq and told him, "I'm gonna give you that land flowing with milk and honey," and brought him down into what is commonly known as the land of Canaan.
Yes,
we know it today as the Israeli Empire or Israeli nation.
Yeah,
but it was the land of Canaan at that time.
Yes,
he established him in Canaan. He had his son Isaac, his son's son Jacob, and Jacob eventually brought forth the 12 tribes of Israel. Jacob had his 12 sons, and he brought forth those 12 tribes.
Yes, sir.
Built them up, and then took them down into Egypt. I don't know if the scholars, I got all the heavy hitters.
Yeah, I was going to say
I don't know if they want to add to this.
Yeah, if y'all want to add to it, please do.
Yeah, man.
Please add to. I also want to know about if you're finished.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's how we got going.
So who were the 12 sons, if you don't mind?
Sure, let's run it down. Yes, somebody pull them up for me. All right. We got 12 families.
Yes.
And I'll identify them as to who they are today. Or somebody else can identify them if they want. Who they are today. You got a chart.
I got a Bible right here. I don't know.
Oh, these brothers are pull it right. We can go to the scriptures on it.
Yes.
I tell you what. Why don't we quickly, depending on our time, we'll have the brother. No, you don't got to. I mean, you can open it if you want, but the brothers have it. You can handle it. Go ahead and handle it, and they can bring out some of the
please
the identifying marks. And that's a good point you brought up, Ross. Is that if for the brothers and sisters out there listening, if you want to know who the original 12 tribes of Israel are today on the earth, you go back to Genesis, the 49th chapter. In Genesis, the 49th chapter, the Lord gave us the breadcrumbs, the prophecies on where and how you would identify these 12 tribes. So I'm going to have Katazar run down the 12 tribes and who they are, and then we'll read a couple of scriptures that'll give us some of the breadcrumbs so brothers and sisters can know how we got to that point, and they can do the same thing themselves.
Absolutely.
All right.
So before you do, thank you for my gift too.
Most High in Christ, brother. Most
all
High
right.
in Christ.
Now we're going into the scripture. I'll wait till afterwards. But thank you.
Okay, you got it, brother. You got it.
Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
No sweat. The 12 sons are as follow. Judah is the so-called Negroes. Benjamin is the West Indians, and that's literally the entire Caribbean. So we're talking about, Bajans, Jamaicans, Trinidad, Tobago. Levi is the Haitians. Simeon is the Dominicans. Zebulon, Guatemala to Panama. Ephraim is the Puerto Ricans.
Which this brother here is of the tribe of Ephraim.
Right on.
We got some representation here. You got
absolutely.
Benjamin over here.
Absolutely.
Straight out of Trinidad, and the Judites.
Right
and I myself am a Benjamite as well. From
gotcha.
St. Thomas.
Gotcha.
Come on with it.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Manasseh is the Cubans. Gad is the North American Indians. Reuben is the Seminole Indians, which is the collection of those nations.
Yeah.
The Choctaw, Cherokee, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Naphtali is Argentina to Chile. Asher's Colombia to Uruguay. And if I could clarify, that's everything in between. So including Brazil as well. Everybody always says, where's Brazil? Where's Suriname?
Yeah.
Well, those all encompass those areas.
Right on.
And then Issachar is the so-called Mexicans.
I love it. I love it. So with that being said, I have some wonderful images that I want to put up, some great imagery.
Beautiful.
So if you would, Jamal, could you put up some of this imagery? And as we put it up, not that one. Let's wait on that one. Let's get to the beautiful images of our people, starting with the first couple that I sent you. And then come on, brother Jamal. All right. We'll start with this one right here. I found this. I found this in me researching. I looked this up. So these are facts. So I'm sure this, because when I saw it, this is what I was saying. Okay. So what am I looking at right now? Then these are Indians too.
Yeah, yes, they are.
Okay. And I think it was, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say this. Did somebody else want to? I don't want to hog it all
anybody
up.
else want to chime in on this?
Well, this y'all cut in. Y'all know how we do. This image could be found in a book called Black Indians. Okay, if anybody's looking for it. And what this is are the old pictures that were taken of the native Indians, just in case you thought that they were of a different skin complexion.
Mm-hmm.
You can clearly see in this photo that they're in their native gear, that they're in their tribe, and that they are chocolate dark-skinned people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And what's so heavy about this photo and photos like it is what a lot of people don't realize is that attire that they are wearing is exactly written in the Bible.
Gotcha.
The fringes are in the Bible.
Yes.
The bells are in the Bible. The borders of blue are in the Bible. The feathers are in the Bible. What you're looking at is actually how Hebrew Israelites dressed.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Now we're going to the next image. That next image that we have right here. I'm going to call her name. This is Chief Elwyn Warhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's I think she's like the mother of one of the last tribes down there in New Orleans.
Wow.
And as I was doing my research on her, she's Black.
That's right.
She's Black. So I just wanted to kind of note that. What do you see in this picture right here, Gen.Yahanna?
I see another common sister, and not just a common sister, but you could clearly see that she comes from the bloodline of Black people.
That's exactly. I think they called it. I don't know if I'm correct on this, but this is what they had. They call it Cooper colored.
Well, copper color.
Copper color.
Excuse me. No, yeah, that's right.
Copper color.
They call them copper cup.
Yes.
Color. And let me tell you, if I could, what was so heavy about the reason the modern records call them copper is because they're trying to not call them Black. So they're using copper. But now here's the smoking gun.
Come on.
When you go to Revelation, and John the Revelator speaks about the description of Christ, he says that he was like burnished brass, which is a copper color.
That's what
you know what I mean? So they're
says.
trying to get away from her being Black, but in doing so, they lead us right back to the Bible where Christ is described as Black in that same way, in that same copper color or burnished brass.
I love it. I love it. So the next one on here, can you show me that next image, Jamal?
And a real quick point on that last image, real quick.
Go back to that image, Jamal.
If you could, something else.
Was it the other one? The other one, Generation?
No, this one right here.
Okay.
Something else that is commonly not recognized. She has two braids down her side.
Yes, she does.
This is a common so-called North American Indian hairstyle. Here's another point that a lot of people don't know. The Bible actually describes braids in the Bible. And it says that the Hebrew Israelites wore locks, braided locks. Okay. And this is long before the white man came on these shores and anybody else. These people were dressed with these people wore braids, and it's recorded. The only place it's recorded at is in the Bible. Right. Nowhere else is it recorded that these people wore the hairstyle of the Hebrew Israelites.
Got you.
You know what I mean? So I just want to make that last note as well.
Thank you for making that note. Anybody else want to make a point or anything?
Please go ahead. Go ahead, Q.
Okay, please.
There's a famous picture, you understand, off of the walls, the relief of Assyria, where you can clearly see the fringes and the border of blue, and you can see the braids of the brother's hair. It's unmistakable. You know, everybody knows about Samson. You know,
yeah, absolutely.
Somebody see if they can pull that picture up.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Y'all good?
Since you want to add something at all, you need to add anything.
General Cabal pulled up a picture, but I don't know if we could actually use this picture. Maybe on a close shot. I don't know. But I wish you could see this picture.
Can you do it
too far?
Yes, sir. It's too far.
Yeah, that's gonna be too far.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah, that might be too far away. Right?
Yeah.
You want to see if you could just put it.
Yeah. Just
the white camera. Just for a second, if you could bring it up.
Yeah.
Closer, a little closer. Up. Lift your hand up. Closer. Boy, you got a good camera too. Look at that there. Closer, a little bit more. Look at the braids on his head. Can you get it closer? Come down, right there. Up a little bit, slightly, right there. Come in closer if you can. Look at that. Look at those braided beard and braided hair.
Yeah.
That's a black man. And those are Hebrew Israelites.
Yes, yes.
I mean, from that area that Abraham came from. I mean, that that Abraham came from that area.
Thank you, brother.
You got it.
Yes. Okay. So what I want you to do, Jamal, is if you would skip over that picture in the white garb, because I have some dialogue for that. You can go there right there. Okay. Hebrews of West Africa. Could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, this is a touchy subject, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because we've been taught so much to try and identify with Africa, which is a mistake. And I'll tell you first why. First of all, Africa has over 50 countries in it. And in each one of those countries, there are sometimes 10 to 14 different ethnic groups.
Yeah.
So pretty much all dark-skinned people, not all, but the majority of dark-skinned people were pushed into Africa. Okay. So the common belief is because we came from Africa on slave ships that we ourselves are African. Mm. But there's an interesting thing to examine.
Yes.
For some reason, the bulk of the slaves came from West Africa. Yeah. And there's a very good reason for that. Yeah. The very good reason for that is the Hebrew Israelites who were destroyed in 70 AD under Titus, the Roman general, fleed down into northern Africa. Yeah. And as they fled away from the Roman onslaught, they moved west into countries like Ghana and different countries. Yes, sir. And so the common belief is that, well, these must be Africans, but they're actually not.
Gotcha.
And what is not as commonly known is that the Africans got together and set up one of the greatest slave trades in the world between the Africans, the Arabs, and the white European countries. The slave trade commenced. Now, the Africans were smart enough to know if we sell all of our people into slavery, we'll have no country and we'll be overthrown by everybody else. So what they did was sort of an ethnic cleansing. They took the remnants of the Hebrew Israelites, put them on cargo ships, and shipped us to the Americas. So now when we arrived at the Americas, our slave masters looked at us like we were African. If you go into many places in the South, many of the cities and areas are named after African countries like Angola and different places. But what they don't tell you is that if you, and again, anybody can chime in anytime y'all ready. Yeah. What they don't tell you is that if you go back to Africa, places like Ghana and stuff, you find areas that were named after Hebrew Israelites. Like Fort, there you go. Yeah. Like, okay. Yeah. Right. At one point, they called north of New Guinea, they called it Negro land. And the reason why is because, now that was the Europeans that gave them that name, but the reason they did that was because this was a specific people in this area that were being sold. Yes, those people are the Hebrew Israelites. I love it. And here's the sad part, if I could, like this is why it's partially controversial. No, please. Because we've been so stripped of our identity in such a brutal way that we are trying so hard to sincerely get our identity back. Yeah. That we are offended when somebody says we're not African, when in fact we're not. You know what I mean? In fact, we have a far richer and far broader culture. Yeah. And we got to find our identity to get it all back. I love it. There's areas in Western Africa called Fort Judah, which is straight out of the tribe of Judah. Yeah. There are other areas like that where the African nations got together and turned us into a commodity and sold us. Yeah. Very little known. It's very little known also how much the Arab world had to do with our slave trade. Yeah. A lot of times we blame white America for and white Europeans for the slave trade, which is right and true. But we don't always blame the Arab world. Instead, we embrace the Arab world and embrace the Arab religions when they were just as culpable in our transatlantic slave trade as was the Europeans. If we're going to be fair. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? So
let's go to that next image on the bottom. No. Go back up. Right here, Afro Latino. I just wanted to
Oh,
make sure
yeah.
that we saw this one right here.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
what you're looking at right here,
yeah.
Gen.Yahanna.
Yeah, this is special, and I'll tell you why. What's so special about this is our people, again, since we were in West Africa, took on a lot of the culture and the doctrine of West Africa.
Yes.
But we still also held on to our original Hebrew Israelite culture. If you look at these garments closely, there go your feathers.
Yeah.
There go your fringes.
Yeah.
There go your long dresses.
Yeah.
There goes your dance. And African culture is a little mixed in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like us today. We're black, but we wear suits and ties. You know what I mean? Right? It's kind of like we holding on to us, but then we taking on a little of their culture. It's just what naturally happens.
Gotcha.
We speak English.
Yeah.
Right? Go ahead. You was gonna say something? We speak English. We have the culture of where we are, but we also hold on to us. You know what I mean? Like we still brought our music back, in every aspect of it, jazz, R&B, but we still conform to today's society. Yeah, and this is what we're looking at here. Our Latinos, brothers and sisters, are also descendants of a black race of Hebrew Israelites.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay.
So I just wanted to, let us know. I mean, don't believe all of the hype. You know what I'm saying? The traditions that we keep and the culture that we find in America that we think is from Africa. If you examine the Bible, sometimes you can see that we've been doing this. I want to share Exodus 15 and 20.
Please.
It says, and Miriam, the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a timbrel in her hand, which is a drum. And all the women went out after her with timbrels and with dances. You understand? Those dance companies that they claim are so, this is African, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We've been doing this. You understand? And it's in our culture. We taking it back.
Yeah, there it is.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Anybody want to add anything else?
Hey, I just want to highlight on the Afro Latina thing. Even that's division though, because all Latinas, if they're ethnically ethnically related to us, they are. Yes. They put the Afro because the colorism is what we're looking for. So we won't accept a light skin looking. We damn near won't accept a light skin looking black man. And so when it comes to our Hispanic brothers and sisters, they have to be Afro Latina to be considered one of us. Whereas in the Israelite school of UPK, we wouldn't use the term Afro Latina. We would just say Latina. We would just say, that's why we say so-called Hispanic.
Understood.
Where in a normal environment, when I grew up, I was called a white boy because I'm light skinned. Kadazar, my brother right here, goes through the same thing. I'm not going to call him Afro Latina.
Right.
But not Latina, you're not a girl, so but I'm not going to call him that. So what I want the listening audience to understand, what we also do in ISUPK is we dispel colorism. Everything about our history is predicated on you have to look a certain melanin way. Even the terminology of us being all African is because of our skin tone.
Understood.
But nobody says the East Indians are black.
Right.
Nobody say the Arabs are black.
That's true.
Nobody say a Hawaiian is black. We know how to differentiate them. But when it comes to us, they just throw us into that big old continent with them 50 countries Commander Gen.Yahanna was talking about with the subsidiaries within those countries and then tell you to go find yourself in a continent. Which is impossible. So I just wanted to add this.
Good point.
Thank you very much. So I want to go back to the picture of, back up top of the, come back down, that one. Yes. So this image right here, Gen.Yahanna, this is in the case of Ethiopian Jews. And I think it's not between, when I read it, it's in between 1955 to 1975. And then it says November 29th, 2021, the Israeli government permitted 3,000, I don't know how to pronounce it, Falasha Jews? Falasha Jews.
Right.
Go to Israel. And then there were Ethiopian churches deep under the ground. As I was just doing my research. But I knew I wanted to ask you more in depth. Could you go in depth a little bit about the Ethiopian Jews? And if I'm saying it the wrong way, you'll correct it. So
sure. The Falashan Jews,
okay, yeah,
commonly known. But I did want to clear up this photograph for a second.
Please.
This photograph is actually from Harlem. These are actually black men who were dabbling in the ideology of Ethiopian Jews. Because let me give you a little quick history, if I could.
Please.
Y'all chime in any. As we started to realize who we were, really from the turn of the century. You know, if you go back in Harlem, there were brothers and sisters who were coming together, learning about their so-called Jewish culture, but they were learning it from the white Jews. The white Jews were saying, well, you guys are the Falashan Jews or the Ethiopian Jews. And for a while, that's how we thought. And these brothers are brothers who took on that philosophy, and they came up and went into different groups. One of our past brothers, Abba Bibbins, was actually a part of this group, and then came and helped establish the ISUPK. Because again, they were progressing out of the darkness. But what they found out in around 68, 69 was that they went and checked the records and said, wait a minute, we're not Ethiopian Jews. We are the actual Jews. And that's when the controversy started, because of course, now we didn't just go by what they gave us. We went and searched it for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And what is also another incorrect thing is this: the so-called Ethiopian Jews of today are not actually Jews. The Falashan Jews, whom the Israeli government recognizes as Jews.
That's what I was reading.
Right. But when you check the ancient records, the reason that they're not Jews is because they're predicated on the idea that they come from Solomon's seed. It is believed by them that Solomon had sex with the Queen of Sheba. If you in ancient times, Sheba is what we call today the land of Yemen. So Sheba ruled the Queen of Sheba ruled that area. So the Ethiopians who lived in that area came to Solomon with Sheba about her wisdom, about his wisdom. But nowhere in the scriptures does it say he had sex with her and had a son. In fact, there are records that show that she had sex with one of her subjects. One of her close subjects. He was like almost like a butler, and chauffeur for her. And the truth of the matter is, she had sex with him and brought forth his son Menelik. Menelik then became the forefather of this Jewish identity. But it's not an actual identity. And how it got popular, real last point on it, is that Haile Selassie, an Ethiopian, who was dubbed King of Kings and Lord of Lords by the British Crown, he eventually went on tour and came to the Caribbean islands. This is in the early 70s. And declared himself King David. That's why you hear a lot of Caribbean people are into the red, gold, and green, and they into Rastafarianism. Rastafarianism is an offshoot of the Ethiopians, whose culture and identity actually comes from the East Indians. So it's a whole long list of where this came from, but it's totally on the wrong path. And so as a result, all these brothers from the Caribbean started embracing Haile Selassie and embracing the Falashan Jewish identity, and found out that, called themselves Hebrew Israelites, but from the old way of thinking that we were converts or we were Jews by descendant of Sheba, if I'm being clear. But when in fact that none of that is true. That in fact he never had sex with Sheba.
Wow, man.
Please, microphone. Damn right.
Just one more. And then the Falasha, that word means stranger. So when you're saying Falashan Jews, the way the so-called Jew interprets that is that these are strangers. They're not actually one of us. They're more like a convert. Like if someone converted to Judaism, that's what that term would be. That's what Falasha means. So when they put the Falasha in front of it, it's to say these are strangers.
Understood. Anybody else want to add? To that?
Sure.
we got a scripture, Isaiah 34 and
Yes,
16.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, they take this tradition with a book called the Kibra Nagas that they wrote, some mysterious Ethiopian author chronicling how they the people, you understand, based on this lie about King Solomon sleeping with the Queen of Sheba in Ethiopia. And so Isaiah 34 and 16 says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord, right? And read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. You understand? None of the prophecies of the Bible will fail.
Yeah.
You understand? We know who the descendant of the tribe of David is. You understand? It's Yahushua HaMashiach. You understand? So-called Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No book you can tie with. You can't tie the daggone Kibra Nagas. You can't tie the Quran. You can't tie these books with the Bible. You understand?
Yeah.
It doesn't need any of that. It says, for my mouth it have commanded. The Most High commanded the Bible, these scriptures right here, the true records, and his spirit it have gathered them. He didn't gather those other books. You understand? And so this is what we have to fall back on. You understand? If you read the Bible for what it is, it clearly identifies the descendants of those that went into slavery and cargo slavery on them slave ships.
Yes.
That we are those people. You understand?
Yes. Yeah. I love it. So it looks like slavery did a number on us. Like, I mean, when you look at from the broad spectrum of it, we really are displaced. Like we just all over the place.
We all over the place.
So I can understand how we could lose our identity along the way.
Yeah.
And
and our slave master didn't help.
Yeah.
He made, he helped make sure we never got it. You say you got a script on it? Please. Yeah. You got the mic right here.
Isaiah 1 and 3. It says the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doth not know, my people doth not consider. One of the anomalies in America is why are we the only nation of people that don't have no culture, identity? We all over the place, and all those different cultures that we go into, it does not redeem us. It does not bring us to any prominence. It does not change the ghettos, the barrios, the reservations that we're on. But when I joined this culture, the Israelite school of UPK, you can see the redemption. You mentioned earlier how you saw the brothers and what we did. That's what we do when we actually come into a true culture and identity.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful, man. Beautiful, man. You got anything else you want to say? I'm lost for words.
Another sad tale in all this is that okay, when we grew up in the ghettos and in the different areas like Captain Zariak just mentioned, we embrace the life we live with the Latinos. Like we get with all the Latinos, and we've been coming up together for hundreds of years.
I mean,
the same Ethiopians that come over here who claim to be the Jews, they separate from us. You go up Washington, D.C. in the different areas, they set up their own neighborhoods, their own, and they separate from us, which is just, an anecdotal way to look at who is really with us and who is really against us. And really, they don't mix with us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's really the reason, because they're not from that original line that we're from. You know what I mean?
This right here is a great segue to go into that part where we was talking about. You mentioned these other books don't compare. I'd like to bring up this particular book.
Please.
I want to talk about this book right here. If you would throw that image up, I throw that image up. You don't have to say nothing else. This book that has been resurfacing here, Russian icons.
Oh yeah.
If you would, I know everybody. I saw everybody light up over there again, so I know this gonna spark some conversation. When I told Brother Iraq, I said, I'm going to bring that up. He started laughing. He said, oh, boy. So let's talk about a little bit of this book that's resurfacing. It's not really resurfacing. It's always been there. But, they're starting to sell it for an astronomical amount of money, which is kind of crazy. Why we just can't get the knowledge?
Exactly.
I mean, that's my thing. But I wanted to kind of, if you would,
I would,
as much as you could, everybody at this table.
Sure.
Just kind of elaborate a little bit on what we see and how did it get into those hands like that?
If
I mean, you know, where they selling it, man. I'm like,
yeah,
I wanted to buy it.
but it was $1,000+ for it now.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And if I could, a big shout out to Chief Head Priest Yeshaya, who back in the late 80s began to notice something about icons and paintings, and he began to go into studying it, and he discovered this book called The Russian Icon.
Gotcha.
And he went through it, and he realized that they were not only, he realized one, that it's filled with icons of Black people.
Yes.
And which already it says Russian icons, and you open it up and it's filled with Black people.
Filled with us, yeah.
And then, and he also realized from it that they were actually doing in the Greek Orthodox Church, that they were actually repainting them. They were actually whitewashing them. And so I wanted to give him credit. It was due because he had studied it up. I bought this book when it first came out, when nobody knew about it. I bought it for $5.
Wow.
They were selling them all day. You could get them in any, you know how they the libraries at the end of the year,
yes, sir.
They get rid of all the books that nobody takes out of the library. They sell them for $1.
Yeah.
Well, this was one of the books that were in all the libraries that you could get for $5. Now it's $1,000+
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if I could let the brothers get in, they could totally tell you the whole makeup. I just want to say one thing.
Sure.
One of the masterful paintings that's in this book, icons that's in this book, is the icon of the man that we call Santa Claus today. And he's a Black, it's in that book. That's why it's so expensive. Because the original man who this was done off of was a Black man who lived in Russia.
Wow.
And he kept an orphanage in Russia. And he wore a heavy red, oh, here it is.
Yeah, we got it.
We got the picture of him right here.
Take it to him.
Like that's him right there. Now that's one of them, but where's the other one? Y'all got the other one of him without the headpiece? There's another one. Okay, but you can see that.
Send it to you.
Yeah, that one. That's one of them. But there's another one as well.
Okay.
You want to know where Santa Claus came from? You about to see Santa Claus right now. Listen, that's where, check it out. This is where they get the story of him coming from the North Pole because he was in Russia. You understand? This is where they get the story of the Santa Claus suit because, keep going, where they get the where they get the Santa Claus suit. Okay. But the red outfit, it comes from that.
That's the whitewashing image.
That's the whitewashing. Oh, you got to show Ross that. Ross, take a look at that. This is in the Russian icons. He is clearly repainting a painting from black to white. You want to put it up? Let's put it up to the camera if we could.
Yeah. Go ahead and put it up. I was looking for it. I can't find it back.
There you go. Closer. If you can you get closer? Yeah, so they can see both. See that's amazing. Like he is clearly, and that's in the book.
Wow.
If I could say,
yes.
In the opening, it actually says that these Russian icons survived the whitewashing of the Renaissance era.
Yeah.
Like when the Renaissance era came, that's when they took all of them images of the Black Christ, Black Paul, Black Peter, Black Mary, all of that, and then whitewashed it because white America or Europeans are not going to worship the God that belongs to another people.
Yeah.
So the trick bag is to make them look like them. And then now we can worship and follow after Jesus. We can follow after Peter because they look like us.
Yeah.
So that's what the Russian icons expose.
I love it. Anybody else? Please keep going. Keep going.
Yes. So, and the reason why this is in Russia, like what they failed to teach us was the Dark Ages. They believe was just a time period of ignorance when it was actually when dark-skinned people were ruling the world. Okay. The Renaissance was just white Europeans, you understand, coming back into the picture.
Understood.
So from 193 AD, you have Praesinius Niger, Servius Septimus, who were black generals who overthrew the Roman government.
Yeah.
You fast forward to 300 AD when Constantine comes on the scene. He's another historical figure who was whitewashed.
Yeah.
He moved the capital to Constantinople, which is Turkey, modern day Istanbul. So when you find about these Russian icons, it's actually from the remnant of the Byzantine Empire, which was a black empire. So they were the ones who actually hid these during like the iconoclasm, where white people tried to destroy these images, but they were stashed in monasteries all throughout Russia. And that's why this book is so expensive, because it exposes not only the images, but it exposes the whitewashing. And lastly, and I challenge anybody on this who wants to say that Constantine wasn't a black man, if you were to go to the broken up remnant of the Ottoman Turk Empire, the Dark Ages ended in 1453 AD when Constantinople was sacked. There's a monastery. It's called the Moldavita Monastery. It's in Romania. So when you go to Albania, Lithuania, Romania, that's the broken up empire of the Ottoman Turks. The Ottoman Turks were white men who converted to Islam. They went and fought Christianity in Byzantine. And what happened is you can literally see the castle of the Byzantine Empire being raided by white men on one side on horses. That's the Ottoman Turks. And you're going to find black men wearing crowns with woolly hair as that city's being destroyed. And what you'll find is those are the descendants of Constantine.
Man, come on, man. Drop them jewels. Drop them. Come on. Keep going. Yes, sir. This is good stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I totally am. Yes.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, right on. Yes.
There's some good history that's not out.
Yes,
and
sir.
by the way, we have more books than the Russian icon.
I
we don't. Yeah, we can't. If we let them out, those will be $1,000 too. But we can't let them out. We saw they got the Russian icon. We said, we ain't letting the rest of these out. Yeah, man.
Keep building.
Please, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like the Lost Tribes. That is
Lost Tribes of Promise.
Yeah.
That's right.
Which talks about the Native Indians.
Yeah.
Being Hebrews. Right. And what people fail to understand is this: like when the whitewash a figure, now as a young Black or Hispanic or Native Indian growing up, who you have to look up to as being a hero.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking to know that, you know what I mean, you have to go, you sending your kids to school to get an education.
Yeah.
But they really have to go get their education from the ISUPK, really,
Right.
to really know who their forefathers were and who the descendants were. Right. For example, King James. King James was a black man, but they like to say he was a so-called white man.
Yeah.
But he was a black brother who ruled over Scotland, who brought England together.
Yeah.
But they'll never give him that props because he was a black man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that, you know what I mean, like learning, like young brothers and sisters learning that they are great, you will see a difference in their life.
Yeah, it's true.
There it is.
You will see a difference.
You're telling the truth. I love it.
I'm gonna pass it to Kazazar in a second, but I had to plug this in real quick,
please,
because every time I listen to Captain Nyathak here, it reminds me. Captain Nyathak is actually a professor in a university in DC. I ain't gonna say which one. Yeah, like don't let these black jackets fool you.
Oh, please.
These are some educated, heavy brothers. Captain Katazar to my left here has actually written 3 books on the origins of these brothers. That's right. You know what I mean? And every time he comes out, we like this every time he comes out with another one. So these are some heavy brothers that really embrace coming back into their own culture and identity, but still have attained so much. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is beautiful.
I just wanted somebody else.
Thank you for plugging that too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because when you see black men coming up the street and they got on black jackets, we get a misconception that they must be a thug and must be a criminal, because that's what pushed out.
Well, I'll be honest with you. There's no way they can think that though when they hear your mouth, when they see you open your mouth,
once you speak,
talk, and the knowledge come out.
That's true.
There's no way that they can think that.
That's true. That's true.
Go get a job.
Yeah.
you don't know the half.
Right. Oh, yes, yes.
Anybody else?
Anybody else?
Just a shameless
Please.
plug.
Sure, go ahead, man.
Plug
that book. Plug it.
If I could, there's
Plug it.
three books that are available on Amazon right now. You could search Cap Kataza, Chaataza, and they're actually predicated on mainly right now the tribes and specifically the Northern Kingdom.
Yeah.
So one of them is on Issachar, the so-called Mexicans. The other one's Reuben, my excellence, showing the distinguishing marks between Gad and Reuben. And then the last one that I just published is We Came from the East. And what it does is it not only shows that the North American Indians were speaking Hebrew when Columbus found them, shows that Columbus knew where he was going, who he was searching for, and that we took a transatlantic migration, which everyone tries to say we came from the opposite end to try to associate us with other nations. And all of that's false. So We Came from the East is available now on Amazon.
I love it. I love it.
Like, give it to Tazariak and you know them oils.
Oh, he got oils.
Right. We talk about plugging.
Plug it
I
off,
do have a business of the finest oils and whipped body butters. I run this business for about 4 years now.
Wow.
I'm also on Amazon as well as Kataza. You can find us called Gas is the name of the business that we have.
Right on. Right on. Yes, you're very welcome, man. This is beautiful, man. All gas. Yes, sir. I love it. I love it. So listen. Beautiful. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna open up the phone lines real quick, and let some folks call in. And listen, if you call in, here's what I will say. Please be respectful. Please be respectful, but understand that if you pull the trigger, then please understand that you're gonna get some explosives back. So if you're not ready to hear real truth, and please just be respectful when you call in to the general and to the brothers. Please be respectful, but please, the lines are open. Feel free to call. Give me a minute to call. It's a regular little number, so just give me a minute and call on in if you want to keep building. Gen.Yahanna, it's fine. And it'll probably ring.
Okay, and we can go.
We'll go from there. Okay. But the phone lines are open. That's 470-524-2515. That's 470-524-2515. If you just want to make a comment, that's fine. Please be respectful again and be respectful of the time. All right. Go ahead, Gen.Yahanna.
Yeah, I just was going to add, since we plug in stuff, that we're holding our annual Passover in Durham, North Carolina, April 20th. April 20th will be, the entire nation will be in Durham, North Carolina. Brothers and sisters will be coming in from Europe, from all over the Caribbean, from all over the world pretty much. We'll be coming into Durham, North Carolina for our annual Passover. I hope you can come out and really spend time with us. You're about to see the entire nation operate, and it's going to be a hell of an experience.
By saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom. Cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
Hello, you on the Ross Cloud podcast. What's happening? Go ahead.
Yes, peace and blessings. Good morning and greetings to all kings and my brothers in the movement, those soldiers of the struggle.
Okay,
brother. Do me a favor, brother. Hold that thought. I'm gonna be right back with you. I'm gonna get. All right. Go ahead, brother. You got a question for the general?
Yeah. Good morning, peace and blessings to all kings. Good morning.
Good morning, brother.
I appreciate you all for being our current existing ancestors, which will later be the reason why knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is passed down to our young ones.
That's very kind, brother. Appreciate that.
No problem. This is Brother Mike Ray Anderson, and I applaud Brother Chris Ross also for having the Ross Cloud podcast.
All right, Ray. Hey, Mike, thank you so much for calling in. Mike is a dear friend to Brother Iraq. Is how all of this.
Okay.
Go ahead, Brother Mike Anderson. Go ahead, bro.
I wanted to applaud how they bring light to a lot of misconceptions, myths, and untruths and false ideologies that have spread across this globe. I heard the brother speaking earlier in reference to the myth of Solomon tricking Sheba into having sex.
Right.
And I wanted to kind of like add on to that and piggyback and say that what we also have to do is teach our young ones the actual translation of what was already scribed. A lot of things have been lost in translation, and that is due to psychological warfare that has been the art of war for years. And the key thing to do in psychological warfare is to strip our people of their true identity so that they will be lost without leaders. They will be lost without a sense of conquering, and they will be lost without a sense of mass producing with the fertility of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding itself. In that moment that they said that Solomon tricked Sheba, I would love for us to continue to explain to the youth that that was another translation that actually meant that he invited her into his secret place of no deception, which is what the word bed stood for in the Hebrew language. It was a secret place of no deception, and he impregnated her with the wisdom of our identity that was to be lost in translation. And one of the biggest things is that I appreciate you all, the way you move and the movement that you have. And, you know, definitely my hat goes off to the general, because I've been sitting back watching, because when Brother Iraq and his crew from the ISUPK, I'm sorry if I'm
ISUPK, yep, you got it.
ISUPK, okay. They approached my son at a Phoenix festival in the area of Durham, North Carolina, and kind of like embraced him. And, you know, I love that. You know, I definitely make sure that I speak unto him and speak into him, because he's destined for greatness. But I appreciated how they approached him in truth as well. Versus
you can hear. Yeah, sorry.
I appreciate how they approached him in truth. And I'm sorry that this is a long statement, but I have an adoration for you guys, because a lot of people misconceive the fact that, you know, you all look like real men, and the image of real men can be intimidating sometimes, only if this nation has taught our people to be intimidated by it.
You're absolutely
and one of the
right.
things that I adore about you brothers, man, is that you definitely keep it real, and you have different tones. A lot of people don't realize you're loud in public because you have to be loud in public.
That's right.
That's right.
Now, I've seen you all in different environments where you speak with a pleasant, calm voice, and nobody has seen that until this show. And the Ross Cloud podcast is allowing that to manifest, that truth to manifest as well, which is what I appreciate about this, because now what happens is they're listening to you in this tone. And this is the tone that people have a tendency to listen to because they shut down when it becomes loud.
That's right.
And I appreciate the fact that you all are giving this platform. But I didn't have a question, because I pretty much, you know, I agree with you all in your lessons and your learnings and your teachings. My thing was just making a statement that said, continue the good fight, continue to consolidate, you know, all the ideologies that come from truth, and allow us to be able to exist in our true identity, man, so that we can get back our throne. We can get back on our throne, man, because we've been stripped. We've been stripped in the craziest way that you can ever imagine. And psychological warfare is the biggest beast that ever existed on the face of this earth.
Anderson, you're so right. You're so right in what you're saying. And I love the way you broke down the understanding of Solomon and how he impregnated her with the wisdom of the truth. Like that was absolutely perfect in what it is that we've been experiencing and in the misconceptions. And yes, we do have we started out in Harlem, so you could imagine what it's like teaching our people on the streets of Harlem. I was just there recently
for a film festival, and I saw you guys. Well, you know, I saw a branch of you all in a whole. And in my mind, somebody said something that was with me, and I had to kind of like correct it, because I love correction when people don't understand and don't know. And they're like, man, sometimes they be saying some good stuff, but man, them brothers are too aggressive. I said, no, you have to be aggressive in the streets of Harlem. Think about it. I was like, and so and they were just like, so what do you mean? I was like, because think about how they stole our identity. Yeah. They were way more aggressive than we are on the streets of Harlem. I was like, when they stole our identity, they put us on ships. They whipped us. They beat us. They raped us. They cut us open. They cut pregnant women open and let the babies, you know what I'm saying, hang from the umbilical cord. Sure. I was like, all that was way more aggressive and way more violent than we can ever imagine. But if we come in compassion as the kings that we are, why would you misunderstand that?
That's right.
Why would you misunderstand that?
That's so right.
And so, I personally, I had a chance to study. I did 17 and a half years in prison on a life sentence and had a chance to study.
Wow.
So when I studied, I said, everybody that comes into contact with me will not get the crab in the barrel black version of me. They will get the elevated mind black version of me.
That's deep.
Hey, Mike, listen, brother, Mike Ray Anderson, thank you so much for calling in, brother. I really do appreciate you chiming in, man. Much love and respect to you, my brother.
Love you, brother. Y'all be blessed, man, and keep up the great fight.
Right
Thank
on.
you so much, bro.
Peace, bro. All right. Anybody else want to chime in and call in? Feel free to do so. And if you want to elaborate on that, you can, Gen.Yahanna, some of the things that he had to say.
Yeah, for the brothers that
couldn't hear.
Yeah, for the brothers that may not have heard. He was definitely trying to get everybody to understand that, the way we are aggressive in certain arenas and certain areas of what we have to deal with. And then some we're not. But I mean, you can stand on any street corner in America and you stand there long enough, you probably end up in a fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just standing there.
Yeah.
And so the kind of aggression our leaders taught us way back how to adjust to all of these environments. And he was bringing that out. And in his wisdom, he could understand and see past, the tone that we're using at that time. Mm-hmm. And yes, we switch up. We don't like screaming and yelling all the time. You know what I mean?
Sure,
but it's necessary. Sure. And our people, last point, and I'll pass it. Mm-hmm. Our people are so wounded. Like we wounded bad. A brother will fight you. We had brothers come in the truth who fought us damn near physically just because we were telling them something different. Wow. They were in such pain subconsciously. You'd be surprised. They were in such pain subconsciously from hearing so much false philosophies about us.
Sure.
That we come with the truth, and it's like, no, it ain't. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. I was in DC just a short while ago and told brothers. All I said was this on the mic. I said, brothers, we have some problems among us that we got to fix. A guy tried to throw a shopping cart at me. He went crazy because it was like, for that moment, he had to look within. And it was so much pain and so much destruction inside him.
Yeah.
And he went off. The brothers jumped on him, and the people on the sidewalk said, please don't kill him. Please don't kill him.
Yeah.
And they said, we ain't going to kill him. We just stopping him. We ain't going to kill him. Because they were scared to death. But we understand it.
Yeah.
That this is pain that's coming out. So I'll just pass it for anybody else that's slugging.
Yeah, and remember, go ahead and hit that phone call now. That's 470-524-2515. That's 470-524-2515. You can call in with a question to the Ross Cloud podcast. Go ahead, bro.
Give us your best shot. I got a scripture for you. This is my shot right here.
Come on, get it on.
It say Isaiah 51:20. It says, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets. The head of a street is the corner. That's where you find the ISUPK.
Yeah.
Because our sons are there.
Yeah.
You understand? They hurt and they fainted in this society. It says, wild as a wild bull in a net. You understand? They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy power. You understand? You understand? That's why you got to find us there, because these scriptures have led us to do everything to rebuild our people and put us back on the map. You understand?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Domination.
Listen, I'm telling you, the way y'all hit the corners, man, it put me in the mind of John the Baptist. John the Baptist didn't spare nobody.
He sure did. He was rough with it. He was rough with it.
So I do not understand why there's so much. But go ahead.
Just to add to what you're saying, I'm coming right now to you. Sure. That's such a heavy point in this.
Yeah.
That we have, because of today's society, we have such a misconception about prophets. Yeah. That prophets of God are not soft-spoken men.
No, they're not.
Christ said, "He that wears soft raiment live in king's house."
Yeah.
So you know, man, if you're looking for a cat with soft raiment, you got to go in the king's house. But if you're looking for a prophet of God, he gonna have that rough garment on like John had on. That camel hair coat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That camel hair, if you ever touch the camel, that hair is very coarse. You know what I mean? And so the prophets are hard men.
Very much
and
so.
That's how they come, but they can parlay any way they can.
Yeah, and the prophecy won't lie. I mean,
there you go.
The Revelations, it said it would be that way.
That's right.
So we have to understand exactly what we see.
Exactly.
Understand what's happening.
That's right.
The spirit of John the Baptist is out here.
That's right.
And
it's real, and it's real sincere love. Like we don't understand sincere love and sincere care.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
No problem.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all. But I think a lot of times one of the words that's always used to frame us is radical. But I think that radical problems call for radical solutions. And what I mean is the crack epidemic was radical. And at once upon a time, it was a conspiracy that they flooded the ghetto with cocaine and crack. And now you understand that conspiracy's not only been revealed, you got Tom Cruise playing the pilot that's flying them in. They're double profiting off of it. So it's like when you see how hard that hit us and how hard we got rocked to sleep, you need that alarm clock. And sometimes because we're so diametrically opposed to everything that they've done to us in this oppression, it comes off as rough, but it's like, look at our environments. Look at where we come from. Look at the condition of the ghetto today. So you're gonna need something as hard to push back against that, and that's why we are that solution.
I don't know why it's such a hard pill to swallow the way music is today, and what we see happening right in front of our face. I guess it's okay for our kids to enjoy that, but we reject this right here, which is really bringing shedding light and truth.
So true what you're saying. They're not sparing us on that rate on those songs. They're not sparing us at all. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody worrying about how they speaking. You know what I mean? In no kind of way. They trying to find new ways to be more raw. You know what I mean? So what you saying is so right.
I just want to add that in there.
Listen, you so right. You so right. And it's the elephant in the room. Like you bringing out the elephant in the room that nobody wants to say it. But I mean, it's proliferating right in front of us. I mean, you so right. You know, man.
And as you so taught us also, where you say if you want to see Black people's situation in America, you read the book of Exodus, right? And the book of Exodus shows you that Black people, right, Israel on a whole, right? Ezekiel said the best, right? Where he says in Ezekiel 3 and 7, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee. For they will not hearken unto me. For all of the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Meaning, these people, the Lord opened the Red Sea for them. Part the Red Sea. Part, I think, the River Jordan also too. And they still turn the back on the Lord is because we hard-hearted. And as a culture, as a people, you can't deal with us as you will deal with any other nation. We're different. You understand? Our kids, they're different. You can't grow your child up like how a American or a white person will grow their children up. It's totally different. Right? And he went, the Lord went on to say, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, meaning the prophets. He made the prophet's face strong against their face. When you go out on the streets and you meet brothers and sisters, they're full of pain. and they're gonna meet you with that pain. And the Lord said, He made your face hard against their face, right? And strong against their face, and thy forehead strong against their forehead. Meaning that you're gonna have to stand up and really, you know what I mean,
be tough.
Yeah, you gotta be tough with them. You can't, you know what I mean, you can't tell black, you know what I mean, you can't talk to black people in the way they are destroyed, the condition they're in, right? You can't talk to them soft. You can't, you have to go out there and lay to them. You gotta basically shake them up in the spirit. You gotta shake them so they could hear what you're saying. Because if you say it any other way, they're not going to accept it. You see what's going on in Christian church. It's you know what I mean, it's total opposite of what the Bible is saying. Like their face is not hard against the people, the congregation,
right? The opposition of the congregation,
Yes, you understand. Like when you really read this, a prophet job, it's perilous. The best way I could put it is it's where you're gonna have to be hated. But loved by the Lord, nonetheless. That's the give and take of being a prophet. That's all.
Good point.
And that's why I said that earlier. Everybody's not built for this. But there are a select few. You can be trained though.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
If you get around the right environment.
That's right. It'll rub off on you.
It'll rub off on you.
Just like all the bad environment has rubbed off on our young men. You come into this truth, the right environment will rub off of you as well. You know what I mean? I never believed when I was first learning this. Real quick, Cap, I'm coming to you. I never believed, you know, even though my teachers were telling me this, I didn't really believe that I could get young men to come off this corner and come teach the Bible. It was like, I was enjoying it. I said, well, I just add the knowledge to myself. But when I started to see brothers come in,
doing it,
I said, oh, snap. It is possible. And so it definitely, you know, righteousness is contagious too. And if I could, last quick point, Cap, Black men need to be able to feel unguilty finally. Right. You know what I mean? Like a ton of all these captains will tell you, the young men come in, the police pull us over, or police come up to us, brothers automatically feel like a criminal. And we got to tell a young man, you didn't do nothing wrong. You didn't commit no crime, brother. Keep your head up and answer that man straight up because you didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? But we cowering in such training from them. So you're right. Young men need to feel unguilty. They need to feel that I can step up and do the right thing. I've done nothing wrong. You know what I mean? And so I didn't mean to cut you off, Cap. Go ahead,
bro. Two stories. One story, what Captain Thought brought out about our face should be harder than theirs, right? In Harlem, New York, 125th Street. We at camp one day. I always tell this story. And Captain Taiwan, I mean, it's a sea of Black people angry at us for just teaching the Bible. Because what we do that's different than the Christian church, which everything that we're doing outside of the so-called white man, every fault in the Black community belongs at the doorstep of the Christian church, period. And so what we make Black people do is face themselves on the very same corner that they're on. And here's the heavy part. If Black people on the corner selling drugs, you know, that's just business as usual. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. No, that's the way it's supposed to be. Now we come where the church won't go. To the very same corner that they're on, saying that you cannot do that. We're not trying to sissify you. We ain't gonna have a homosexual singing a song and dance for you, anything like that. We're gonna allow you to keep your aggression, but use it righteously. That's what Gen.Yahanna is saying. That's what Captain Thought is saying. Oppression make a wise man mad. The scriptures say, be angry and sin not. It's nothing wrong with being angry. We're all angry men. We were all angry men that saw our community and wanted to do something about it. So as we're on that corner, this one Black brother is standing in front of Captain Taiwan, and he says, I'll shoot you and every tribe on there from Judah all the way down to the Mexicans. And the whole time he's doing that, Captain Taiwan not only is saying, you're not going to do that, he's saying, you're going to learn to be a brother. You're going to learn to stop having that hatred for us because we're trying to get you to stop killing, to stop being a murderer, stop stealing. By the end of the conversation, that same brother that said he was going to shoot him was on the side crying to Captain Talbot because that was just a brother in pain and never had nobody give him an actual solution.
Yeah.
We not giving, like the church, nobody is giving a solution to these brothers. They giving them a song and dance, telling you God loves you anyway, and then just sending them right back outside to the wolves to get devoured. If you don't give them an answer, a real answer. If prosperity is the answer, you're never going to stop them from selling drugs, from stealing, from robbing, because that's the church. The church is about prosperity. If you teach them brotherhood is the weapon and show them brotherhood is the weapon, then they will stop and then learn how to live their life.
If I could, if I could add one thing to what Captain Tazariak said, which was so heavy, is these brothers out here, they not slow. They could smell a hustle a mile away. If you come to them with BS, they're gonna catch it. And that's why big shout out to General Muhammad for counseling so heavy.
Wow.
Him and his team of counselors lay out all the problems that brothers have and fix them on a professional level and get their head right from all of the trauma and tragedies that we in the Black community until recently we did not recognize psychological problems.
Come on, man.
You could never mention it until very, very recently. And there's been generations of pent up pain and anger that have altered our behaviors. Well, thanks to brothers like General Muhammad and other brothers in this truth, we now have the ability to relieve brothers and sisters from that. And if I could, or another shameless plug,
please.
Come check out the Israelite School of UPK, whether you like us or not. Even if you like us more, come check us out. Because the things that we provide for brothers and sisters, I'm saying this. I want to impress you. I want to impress you. Even if you hate me, you Black and Latino and Native Indian, come try me out. Many brothers, I've had arguments with many brothers that in the end they said, you know what, I can't argue. You right. You try, you can because you know what I found out, Roz, that sticks with me is that no Black person can deny true love from other Black people.
No.
It's so rare. It's so rare that you cannot really, you'll hate us, but you be like, damn, he did care for me. He did look out. You know what I mean? He is saying what's right. And yes, I did go through that. You right. You know what I mean? And that is wrong. Like the things they know is wrong. You can't deny true love, which is what Christ was built us on in the first place.
Come on, man.
So I mean, we should have so much more of it among us. That's what he said to build on. You know what I mean? Love the Lord with all thy heart and love thy brother as thyself. He said all the law hang on that. So let's hang on it. Let's hang on. I just want to add that.
This is beautiful. I'm glad that we were able to have this conversation, General Yahanna. I want to have you come back again, though, because I really want to do another one.
Okay.
And then we really gonna go hard in the paint.
Yeah.
I really just wanted them to meet you and the brothers and kind of drop some jewels and some knowledge. For me, I'm all about building blocks. And then we build these blocks, then we can get all the answers we want, because we didn't even get into the government piece, but I want to. I'm probably gonna have me some security outside. I'm have me some extra brothers out there.
Make sure they understand, right?
Understand the assignment.
Right.
Understand.
Right.
So I'm working on some things in the background so we can make this happen. So I can do that, because I'm gonna have some other folks come in from a government sector. I don't want to spill too much out.
Right.
And I want them in here. And so I'm so we can really
that's gonna be heavy. Get to the nitty gritty of this thing.
I think this is the kind of dialogue we need to have, because a lot of times we don't get a chance to face those that are actually in power and those that are really willing to sit down and actually listen first.
That's right.
Let's listen first. Let's get a perspective here. Let's understand what's really going down.
Exactly.
Because sometimes if you don't hear from the heart of the men, and women of our community, then you don't have a clue.
This is true.
And what you're doing in our communities, what the full team, the brothers are doing in our communities, I don't even think they understand how far this stretches. Like, yeah, I'm finding that out.
You're right.
Like as I continue to delve into it even more so,
right?
These roots y'all running deep.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
It ain't a game.
That's right.
And when you get together, it's soldiers.
That's right.
But we coming in love. We gonna help you, and we gonna protect you too.
That's right.
But we gonna lead you the right way too.
Exactly.
And I think we need that.
Oh
we
man,
need that shining light in our society. So much evil out here on today that can plague us in a second, especially if we're not strong enough.
You right.
And they feed off of desperation.
That's right.
So we can get rid of the desperation.
Yep.
And to think that we just got to have, really got to have.
That's right.
God has already given to us in faith. It's already ours.
The scripture said, "Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time."
Yeah.
Opening us up to this thing here is going to stop brothers from losing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a time when we need them to hold it together, to help so much more. We have we have our sisters, we have our children.
We do.
We have all of that needs to come together in one body, and it starts with us.
Yeah,
getting our thing on the right track.
That's
you
true.
know what I mean?
That's true.
So,
anybody else want to say something before we close out?
Good. I mean, just to add, I mean, what you were speaking about earlier on. Yes. Oh no. Yeah. What you were speaking about earlier on, brother. It's what Commander Gen.Yahanna has done with the UPK is help brothers and sisters basically find a home where they can keep their integrity and their morals. Your structure. Because without keeping the integrity and moral structure, you are going to be susceptible to anything in this society that may not be good for you. Right for you. It's
true.
You're gonna make deals, you're gonna sign contracts that after you know what I mean, 10 years after, you're gonna recognize, man, what did I just do? Dave Chappelle is a good example.
Good example.
Where he signed his name for forever.
Right.
Forever, man.
Right.
Forever.
And he's trying to fight to get it back.
Yeah.
But if he had known about Commander Gen.Yahanna in this school,
man,
he would have known how to keep his integrity.
Yeah, man.
How to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And it's speechless. To know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That there's a place
right.
where black men can stand up.
Yes.
And you know what I mean, be strong.
Yes. And thank you for adding that. You know, this again, this is beautiful. You want to add something before we close? Sure. Go ahead. Add something.
Just to piggyback off what both Commander Gen.Yahanna said and Captain I thought. I was one of them hard-headed brothers that I came in here trying to challenge everything. You know what I mean? Like there ain't nothing like you can't paraphrase the scripture with me. No, show it to me. Where's it at? What artifact? Who discovered it? Like I want to overturn.
Hold on just a moment. You know
what I'm saying? I wanted to overturn every stone. And the one thing that I think I searched high and low. I read the Tibetan Book of the Dead. I went into Islam. I went into New Ageism. I Buddhism. I was trying to find a way home. And this is the only place that I not only got my aunt. This is a place they didn't just tell me just pray on it when there was an issue. You know what I'm saying?
It's more to it.
They helped me solve the issue. Somebody got in the trenches with me and was like, "We gonna figure this thing out together." You understand? It helped me solve my issues. Gave me the answers, rehabilitated myself with universal and practical knowledge that you could apply every day. So to anybody, like I say, I challenge you to do the same. And you know what I'm saying? Don't believe what we're saying. Put it to the test. And what you're going to find is if you can't beat them, you join them because this is the only solution.
Well, listen, caller, you hung up. You hung up and I was going to answer your phone call. I'll give you a couple more seconds to call back, but I'm about to shut it down. So if you want to call me back, give me a call back. That number is 470-524-2515. I will give you an opportunity. Call me right back. Just call me right back. Go ahead and keep talking, General Yahanna. Go ahead. Okay, they're calling back. Calling back. All right.
Call from.
Hello, you there, brother? Sister?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Go ahead, man. What's your question?
Hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, and I do so in the mighty name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah. Shabbat Shalom. I wanted to ask the brothers, I was speaking to other brothers in the ISUPK out of Philadelphia who've been respectfully and gracefully bringing me into this truth. I really appreciate it. I haven't had the honor to hear Gen.Yahanna yet, but I'm waiting for that appearance. But I've been, being or I've been having a dialogue with General Muhammad and other brothers in the ISUPK also, who definitely been giving me great wisdom. I am still a little kind of confused about the Sabbath and how to keep it holy. They were saying that the Sabbath is Sabbath is made for man and not man made for Sabbath. So I was asking, my question is, if I didn't have water, or if I did want to go and maybe buy something to eat, a breakfast sandwich or something, because I didn't want to eat a bowl of cereal, would that be breaking the Sabbath, or would I be still in righteousness and not sinning and breaking the Sabbath if I did that?
Okay, that's a very good question. The question, in case anybody didn't hear it, was, would he be wrong for doing that on the Sabbath? Get me the scripture where Christ's disciples went through the cornfield and they were pulling the corn, and he got challenged on.
Thank you, caller.
There's a lot of confusion. There's a lot of confusion, especially in the Hebrew Israelite world, concerning the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day is a law. It's a law on the Sabbath day that you are to do no servile work on the Sabbath day. You're not to work on your job. You're not to, get out there and rake the leaves at the house. You're not supposed to. It's a day of rest. The Lord made it so that we could rest and that we could, replenish ourselves, so we don't work ourselves to death. The Lord set up that day. However, there are many examples in history where we broke the Sabbath. And one of those examples are the very Levite priests. The priests work on the Sabbath. Even though it's a law, you can't work on the Sabbath. But why do they work on the Sabbath? Because if they didn't work on the Sabbath, how could everybody worship the Lord on the Sabbath? Mm-hmm. So the priests had to work on the Sabbath. Also, King David was put in a position where he was at war. So he had to eat the showbread. He was fighting against a king that had turned evil and tried to kill him. So he ended up eating the showbread to survive. Okay. And he didn't just eat it. The priests gave it to him, who were not supposed to do it. Why did they do it? Because it was a matter of life and death. Another perfect example. Just last night, we closed out the Feast of Hanukkah.
I saw that.
Right? Man, we got together on that. Well, what we didn't get to read in that whole story, because there's so much to it, such a beautiful historical record, is that the Maccabean brothers tried to keep the Sabbath because that was the tradition. Right. But hundreds of people got killed because, of course, our enemy sat back and knew that on the Sabbath we didn't work. Right. So that meant we didn't go out to war. Right. So they turned around and came during that Sabbath and tried to slaughter us. So the Judas Maccabees in them said, well, guess what? We can no longer just rest on the Sabbath because these people are going to kill us. And because he made that decision, we got 100 years of peace and quiet. So leading up to our King Christ, people who come to you and try to challenge you for doing something on the Sabbath are really haters of the Lord and of your righteousness. And they came to hate on Christ the same way. I'm gonna have General Kubal read this scripture for
you. Absolutely.
And break it down, and I'll let the brothers jump in if they want to get in, because it's in this day and age when we've been in slavery 400 years, we lost our identity. We're impoverished. Most of us have to work on Saturday just to pay our rent.
Yeah, that's true.
It is utterly ridiculous to try and chastise a brother because he goes and makes a sandwich on the Sabbath when we have to break the law to serve our slave master in many cases.
In many cases.
You know what I mean? Let's read this. Oh, sorry. And again, brothers can jump in if they need.
Matthew chapter 12, verse 1. At the time, Yahushua went on the Sabbath day through the corn.
Right. So it's the Sabbath day. He's going through the corn. Okay. Which on the Sabbath day, he's not supposed to be laboring and picking corn. Go ahead.
And his disciples were an hungered and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat.
And they began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat. You ain't going to tell me that you got rent to pay and you sitting at home on Sabbath saying, I'm going to keep the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And you know you're going to be stressed to the max. You're going to turn around hating God for having to not be able to survive. Like the Lord ain't a dummy. He ain't going to see you there struggling and say, struggle. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. Go ahead.
Verse 2.
They were hungry. These brothers were starving.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But when the Pharisees saw it, and they said unto him, behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day.
These are the haters that want to come and say, hey, it's not lawful for you to do it. Go ahead.
Verse 3. But he said unto them, have ye not read what David did?
See that? Have you not read it? Come on.
When he was an hungered, and they that were with him. Verse 4. How he entered into the house of the Most High and did eat the showbread.
Which in ancient times, if I could, Q, in ancient times, if you went into the temple, brother, and took a bite out of that showbread, you would not make it to the front door. Them Levites would do you in before you got to that front door because it was God's law. But David, they fed David because he was starving. Go ahead.
Which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests.
Go ahead.
Verse 5. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath?
That's right.
And are blameless.
The priests have to go to work on the Sabbath, which is unlawful to do. It's an oxymoron, but it's the necessary oxymoron for them to do it. Go ahead.
Verse 6. But I say unto you that in this place is one greater than the temple.
Talking about him, Yahushua, our king. He's greater than the temple. Okay. He's the living embodiment of what a righteous king should be, whom we should follow. Go ahead.
Verse 7. But if ye had known what this meaneth, I will have mercy and not sacrifice.
Because he told this to Saul. He told King Saul, I want mercy and not sacrifice. In other words, you sacrificing, but not having mercy on these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the things I laid down to save these people. That's right. And he lost the kingdom over that. And so the Lord would prefer, you understand, that we have mercy. And these cats were using this law to be hardcore against Christ, trying to find a reason to chastise him. Go ahead.
Ye would not have condemned the guiltless.
Right. These brothers were guiltless. You wouldn't have condemned them. And here's what was so hypocritical about it. The Sadducees and Pharisees, who had totally destroyed our nation, sold us out to the Romans, yet they were chastising these brothers who were on the street grinding every day to wake up brothers and sisters and losing everything that they had, to the point where they in this field starving and like, yo, look at all this corn, man. We finally could eat something and started eating. Yeah. They were guiltless, but they were chastised. So for the brother to just, was y'all gonna add something?
No.
But for the brother who asked the question, don't let fake Israelites fool you. Don't let them gas you up and make you think, that you a sinner because you, or more. Here's what they really gonna do. They really ain't even gonna charge you. They're gonna charge me. They're gonna say, Yahanna said you could eat on the Sabbath. See, they in there, look at that food they cooking in there. They're gonna charge me for it because they looking for an accusation. That's all it is. But pay them no mind. You know what I mean? If you getting out here trying to do, you know how hard it is for a black man to even do something positive in this evil world, less alone to come up against all the forces. I ain't mean to cut you off, bro. No. Okay. So
I'm agreeing with you.
I got most of it. Right. Like, you know how hard it is. You know how hard it is for me to raise these brothers up, man, out of the hell that they come from. Brothers with so much pain, psychological problems. Brothers been incarcerated, seeing horrible things. Brothers coming back from wars. Brothers have been abandoned by parents. Brothers in terrible relationships. Brothers, you know, who missing their children. It's a myriad of problems that brothers and sisters go through. And these fake Israelites is gonna sit up there and say, look at Gen.Yahanna. They over there eating on the Sabbath. That's against the law. Meanwhile, you don't keep the law. What about the law of thou shalt not put a stumbling block before thy brother? What about that law? What about that law that thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart? What about that law? Like, that's why Christ told them, you omit the weightier matters of the law. Right. What about them laws? What about the law? What about when your king said, forgive thy brother 77 times 7? What about that law? No, don't nobody call them laws out. Don't nobody say you ain't holding to them laws. But you eat that piece of bread on that Sabbath. Oh boy, you a king sinner, man. Please, you know what I mean. Don't let them do it to you, brother. Go ahead, cut us.
I wasn't gonna say it till you said the bread, sir. But this is just the one thing I want to know.
Check the mic. Is it on?
Yeah, it's on now. Sir. So this is the only thing I want. Since you said the bread, first thing I want everybody to know: Command Gen.Yahanna is a priest and prophet of the Lord.
Most of Christ.
Anybody he poured
under our king,
under our king Yahweh. You understand now? Anybody that gets oil poured on their head in here, they priest as well. And speaking of the showbread was food for the priest, and that was cooked every Sabbath.
There you go.
That's why you had to smell it in the assembly, because they baked it that morning. It was the priest that was doing it. Y'all don't know the scriptures, and you'd rather charge somebody for giving a priest a meal who's doing the work of the Lord. Okay.
So for that brother that called, man, go on and eat that sandwich, man. I'm playing with these guys. You know what I'm saying? I heard they got some of the brothers and sisters here. It is the Sabbath. They struggling. You working all week. You tired. Sister tired all week. She get up Saturday morning. Now, normally her whole Saturday could be free to cook food for the week, pack her lunches, do everything she got to do. She got to now sit in the house looking at the wall. Can't turn the TV on. You understand? Because you turn on electricity, you working. Come on, man. That's not what our king prescribed to us.
And that's all Jewish what they're doing. They learning all that from Jewish people. The Jewish people won't cut the light on, but they'll get one of the servants or find somebody else to go cut the light on, which tells you they are actually breaking the Sabbath. You could almost look at it as a master's job. Somebody that got a slavery, it's not, he don't want the business open. The master has the business open. So now you're going to have them jeopardize their job because the master is forcing them to do that on it, and just don't even understand it. And what Commander Gen.Yahanna said about preparation, when Christ said the Sabbath was for you, if it wasn't for the Sabbath day, you would be working 7 days a week. Your master would not let you get a day off. So that's your day to do what you want on that day. It's not for a day to where somebody can say, hey, do this for me. You can say, no, the Lord said this is my day. You want to play chess, go play chess. You want to hang with your kids, go hang with. You want to prep your food like Commander Gen.Yahanna said. Then you can do that because that's your day. That's the Sabbath was made for man. How do you serve rest? That's I want. How you serve rest? So like if you can't do no servile work, you can't get out the bed.
That's it.
Because you got the rest.
That's it.
You get up and open the door. You move a chair. Now you just work. Like that don't make sense.
It makes no sense. You know what I mean? And if I could, Cap, what you saying is so right. Okay, Ross, is that okay? No problem. Y'all just get the white man off my back, and I won't even leave the house on Saturday. I will sleep like I've been what. But for the last 40 years, I had to get out in these streets and get these young brothers together. Now, if you want to free me up, I'm all ears. You know what I mean? I sleep all Saturday. And here it is. Wait a minute. It's Saturday. We all the way in Greensboro, someplace I really don't know. Greensboro, North Carolina, in here tying Ross up all morning.
Oh, good.
I can't wait to go home and get a sandwich and all that. And you talking about you can't eat no sandwich. Yeah, get between me and that meal when we get up out of here. That's all I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like
sir.
that's
Yeah.
like you said, Gap. That's Jewish. They, taking us somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? When and if I could, one of the greatest, if not the greatest example of the Sabbath was when Christ healed the brother. Remember, they came to him and like was ready to pounce on him because he was about to heal his brother. And he said, which is better? Is it better that this man be with the arm deformed, or is it better on the Sabbath to do good?
Yeah.
And today is a perfect example. Yeah. Was it better that we stayed in the bed and didn't turn on the lights and didn't eat a sandwich, or was it better that we came down and hung with our brother Ross and spoke to the world about the good works of Christ and the kingdom to come? Which one was better? That's what I'd like to ask. You know what I mean? I'll forego a sandwich. You know what I mean? For the sake of these brothers.
Yeah, I love it.
You know what I mean?
I love it. Listen, man, we could probably do this all day long.
You know we could. You know?
Listen, we're gonna have to get out of here. But
Absolutely.
Again, Gen.Yahanna, to the brothers, I want to say thank you all for again gracing us with your presence, man.
Appreciate
with
you.
the knowledge that you bring to the table that's valuable, and the light. You are being what Scripture tells us to be, the salt of the earth. And we really do appreciate that. I appreciate it more than anything. It's missing out of our world and out of our society. And it's much appreciative on this end. And you got an invitation always.
Oh man, it's super kind of you.
Always.
Ross,
and hopefully one day things will get better for the Ross Cloud. And I can sow a seed. I can sow my tithe.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Certainly they've been using it for the wrong reason. We're using it for the right.
No. But it's being used for the right way. I said that jokingly, but
sure.
But
we'll get there.
Yeah,
we get there.
Seriousness, the work that you're doing.
Most times.
Yeah, they don't talk about it enough. They just want to talk about other stuff. But the work that you're doing, it's not unnoticed by those of us that notice it.
Most time, Christ.
So so thank you again for coming in. If you would, can you tell the folks how they can contact you, how they can be a part of the school, all of that in us closing? If you want to have some last words, go right ahead.
Most time, Christ. First of all, of course, I definitely want to thank you again for having me back.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful to the Lord that He has blessed you, because this studio is absolutely beautiful. And Ross is floating on a cloud. He ain't just Mr. Cloud. He floated on the cloud. You know what I'm saying? And getting it in and doing big things, man. Yeah. And I'm so happy to come back, man. The brotherhood and the atmosphere with you out has always been great.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And you did a lot from, last year. I don't think I've ever got to express it or tell you, but you did so much to reach the brothers and sisters in North Carolina.
Wow.
For last year's Passover.
Wow.
And we had an influx of people from North Carolina. And they had heard your show, and
awesome.
And they were, they looked into it, and they were moved by it. Again, I'm very thankful. I'm thankful, that we're here. We're gonna have another one again this year.
Okay, cool.
The Lord's Passover will be April 20th. It'll be in Durham, North Carolina this time, and you could find us pretty much anywhere on social media if you punch in this acronym. ISUPK.
Yes,
if you put ISUPK in YouTube, you're gonna find us.
Yes, you will.
If you put ISUPK in Facebook, you'll find us.
Yes.
And if you want to get in touch with us in the website, we're rebuilding the website, so forgive us, but you can get in touch with us at the website, which is ISUPK.com.
Right on.
All right.
Right on. Beautiful.
Right.
Beautiful. And I'll go ahead and tell you this: any kind of anything you got going on, just send it to however you
Iraq will probably.
That's fine. You send it to him, and we'll make sure that we put it on our shows to advertise for you, man. Because it's bigger than just it's bigger than that.
That's right. That's right.
It's bigger than that. So anything that you have that you want to advertise, you got free range here at Ross Cloud, brother.
Christ.
So just send it this way, and we'll do the advertisement on this end. We'll plug it in our shows.
Appreciate it.
And take a break, man, because again, this is appreciative. We don't do this enough for each other. We don't help each other enough. We don't spread the message of the good news pretty much. And you guys, again, are the salt of the earth. And thank you again for coming.
Thanks so much, bro.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, Rob.
So listen, I hope you guys have heard something today that can help you become a better you. Listen, I'm Christopher Ross. This is the Ross Cloud Podcast.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding Gen.Yahanna, presents the Lord's 55th annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding Gen.Yahanna is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like a pair.